Hi, welcome to Discussing Fitchburg Now. I'm your host, Sam Squailia. You're watching this on Fitchburg Access Television from the Workers Credit Union studio. Thanks for joining us. This week, we are talking about the 15th annual benefit drag show, the Gayest Showman, from the Fitchburg State University Student Development, Gay Straight Alliance. You know, this has been going on this is the 15th year, the 15th production.
15th production. Yeah. It's kind of hard to believe that it's been 15 years that we've been doing this at the university. Granted, we've had the 2-year hiatus, so this would be technically, I guess, our 18th, but you know, we have to go with the 15th this year, so.
That's reasonable.
You're right.
So we have Shane Franzen, the Associate Director for Student Development.
Correct.
At Fitchburg State University.
Correct.
And then Tyler Scipione,
Yes.
who is the Graduate Assistant for Student Development at Fitchburg State University.
Yes.
Yeah. So you help to organize and plan this event every year.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. No, it's an event that we have done through the Gay Straight Alliance for, again, this is our 15th time of doing it. And for those that don't know, the Gay Straight Alliance is a student club that we have on campus that's made up of our LGBTQ plus students plus allies, and they all come together to on a weekly basis to have meetings and stuff and do events. But this is the big moment that they've been waiting for this year. So yeah, it funnels through our office, but you know, the club is really the one that puts all the time and energy, and they're the ones that make the decorations and put the decorations up, and you know, we do the technical stuff in regards to the contracts and contacting the queens and such.
So it's a collaboration between the student-led Gay Straight Alliance and the Student Development Office of Fitchburg State University.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Correct. And and the city. I mean, because we have a lot of people who it now has this really big reputation of everybody coming to the campus to wanting to see this show. We get between 800 and 1,000 people.
Oh, it's a big show.
It's a big show. 800 to 1,000 people on a Thursday night with no alcohol. There's not many events that happens to, but you know, it's a great event. It's a way for us to show our culture. It's a way for us to really have a lot of fun that night.
Okay, so let's can we take the main poster flyer for the program and put it on the main screen so that everyone at home knows exactly what we're talking about? Yes, that one. Can we put that up on the main screen, please? Oh, not that one. Wow. Hi. Thanks for tuning back in. There we go. So the Gayest Showman, that's the theme for this year. It's the 15th annual benefit drag show. Tickets are now on sale, and it happens on Thursday, March 31st at 7 p.m. at Fitchburg State University's Recreation Center right on North Street. You can scan that QR code, and it'll take you right to a link with more information and how to buy tickets online.
Correct.
All right.
And tickets are, for students, are $5, and for the general public are $10. And it's a great, like I said, it's a very cheap night. It's a very cheap night. You know, for 10 bucks, where can you go for 10 bucks? You know, go to dinner someplace, go to Slattery's, go someplace that you want in the city, you know, help some local people out in the city, and then come to the show afterwards.
And the general kind of what you'd expect when you come in is, you know, a big production show. You get, and it's kind of like a comedy show. Right?
Yeah.
I would call it a comedy show.
An adult comedy show.
Adult comedy. Sure. Yeah. You don't want to bring the children.
Well, I never tell anybody that they can't bring their children, because who am I to say if that household is very, very LGBTQ friendly, and maybe auntie is a drag king, and maybe uncle is a drag queen, you know. So we don't tell anybody not to bring them, but we do say it could be an adult show. There are some, you know, songs and parodies that happen, and you know, there's dancing on the tables and you know, splits going on stage and stuff like that. So again, it's totally up to you. If you're very comfortable with that in your family, then, you know, it's up to you to bring them or not.
And there's no alcohol at the recreation center. However, there are refreshments.
Yep.
And you kind of sit at tables, and you can you reserve an entire table?
Well, tables right at the moment are starting to run low. We put 40 tables on the floor, which is 400 seats literally on the floor, and we pull out all the bleachers, so we get, like I said, we can get between 800 and 1,000 people there. But the performers, the queens, come down off the stage. They hit everywhere they can in the place. They'll go up into the bleachers. They come down to the floor. But like I said, right at the moment, we have 40 tables. I checked today, about 30 of them have already been reserved.
Wow.
So that's basically about 300 seats that have been sold and ready for us. Because it is a student-funded show, we are going to be holding off some more of those tickets for the tables, because the student money is really what is funding the show, so we want to make sure that they get first choice. As we get closer, we'll start releasing the tables and stuff.
That sounds fair.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the history of the benefit drag show. You know, this is the 15th annual, but like you said, it's been going on for 18 years. How did it first start? When did we first get this idea to put on a drag show?
Well, it was kind of my idea. But what I was employed at SUNY Brockport outside of Rochester, and when I was there for 3 years, they're basically Gay Straight Alliance had a drag show, and I was like, are you kidding me? This is fantastic. So when I came back here in 2001, it was one of the first things that we started to talk about. And for those that remember the campus, Parkinson Gymnasium, which is now our science complex, is where we had the first show. And we had a little bit of controversy. We had to call it a cabaret drag show.
Cabaret?
Okay. And again, that just shows over the past years how accepting and how things have really changed culturally. And I was thrilled when we had 250 people there. Absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, 250 people is a good show.
250 people, and we went from there to what it is.
Just
what
growing
it is now.
every year.
Keeps growing. It was when we started doing this, we made positive that they are professionals. Here's some of them behind us right at the moment.
Oh yeah.
They are professionals, because we also we want to make sure that nobody feels like we're making fun of anybody or making fun of anyone's culture or their beliefs or anything. So they are truly professionals, all 12 of them this year.
Ooh, there's 12 performers.
There's 12 of them this year. So, and Raquel, who is right here on the screen and behind me back here, she's our MC. She's the one that I call her and I'm like, here's your date, here's your time, here's the location, and then she's the one that reaches out to the rest of the performers, and does a lot of the back behind the scenes type stuff for us.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice to have that collaboration.
Yep. There she is again. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, very big.
Yes.
Very big clothes. Big hair, big makeup. That's what you can expect at a drag show.
Definitely what you can expect there, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I had to bring notes because I can't remember all 12 of them. So we do have Raquel here. We have Lady Sabrina, who is actually right here.
Yes.
She's a local gal. She comes from Leominster. We have Miss Chris Knievel, Charisma, Destiny, who does a fantastic Nicki Minaj impersonation.
Probably one of the best.
One of the best, definitely one of the best.
For sure.
G-Licious G, she's...
G-Licious G?
G-Licious G, yeah. She is one that, she's really old school. She hand makes every single one of her costumes. She is a little more seasoned, we'll say, in regards to some of the other ladies that we have here. But we wanted her to come back because, like I said, she has the history, she has the traditions and stuff like that. So that's G-Licious G. We have Onyx, Ivy League, Vita Summers. Our two new ones this year are Jada Pinkett Fox and Abby Cummings will be here. And then the
crown jewel.
I'll let you introduce her.
The crown jewel of our drag show has kind of made a tradition for herself. That would be Misery, who's behind me. She kind of has a reputation at Fitchburg State University.
Oh?
Kind of started a couple of years back. She likes to break chairs. So that's all I'll say about that.
She likes to break chairs.
She does.
Wrestling?
No,
No,
not like
it's-
wrestling. No, not like
You
the
have to see
WWF.
it.
Nothing like that. No, but she does. It was truly, oh my gosh, probably about 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
She went to go give somebody a dance and happened to sit a little hard on the folding chair, and in the process, it literally just fell out from underneath.
Yeah.
And ever since that moment, she's.
Now that's the shtick?
That's
yeah.
her thing. That is
I-
definitely her thing. When she was here last, she broke 15. That was her record, which was great until the bill came in for the broken chairs. But
Yeah.
So yes, everybody is really thrilled that she'll be back.
Yeah.
In regards to breaking some chairs.
I think even she is too, because I ran into her in Boston a few weeks ago and asked about the show, and I asked, "Are you going to break some chairs this year?" And she was like, "Of course I am."
Of course.
So she's coming.
Something
Break
to
some
look
chairs.
out for.
Well, the students want to sit closest to the stage. They want to sit closest to the runway because that's where
where the action's
misery will pick
That's
somebody.
the danger zone,
Ooh, the danger
the
zone.
misery zone, if you
We'll
will.
pick somebody and actually, break their chair for them. So, yeah. Oh, there she is again.
This is misery?
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
misery too, yes.
Can you
Yeah.
pull that up on the main screen so everyone could see misery in action? There it is.
There we go.
There she
And
is.
this is at the rec center.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the photos that we have up here from the past years, and I just learned, which is really cool, is that Misery is going to be the MC for the Nowoko Pride here
Oh.
in Fitchburg.
Oh, on
So-
July 17th.
I think so. I think that's the date. Yes. So Nowoko will also be at the show. They're going to have their own table that they've
nice.
reserved. They're going to hand out information and stuff to actually launch, Pride and to get more people from the Fitchburg area here really involved with it. So
Yep.
yeah,
Nowoko Pride, North Worcester County Pride.
Yes.
correct.
Yep. So the this year's theme is a circus theme,
Correct.
the Gayest Showman.
Correct.
Is it a showman or should it be showwoman?
Well,
I think we talked about this too.
since I'm the hostess with the mostess in regards to it, because for those that don't know, I do dress up, and it's my one time a year that I dress up.
Just one?
Just one time. And it's for the show, and my persona is Dutchy Divine.
Dutchy Divine.
Yes. So I'm the one that comes out and actually starts the show and stuff. But because of that, we wanted this real circus theme to go along with the movie that was out several years ago, so the Greatest Showman.
Okay.
With a play on words, so we're now turning into the Gayest Showman.
Yeah.
So everything will be done with that whole circus theme. The decorations, I think we have a Ferris wheel that will be put together.
Ooh, a Ferris
wheel. Oh yeah. So there's a lot of stuff, and I know the dance show.
There you are.
Oh
Sorry,
yes,
I had to interrupt.
there's Miss Dutchy. Yes. But the dance club.
So we also have the dance club, the performance team for the dance club, which I advise with Aaron Rarig, who's a professor at the school, will be opening the show as well. So they actually have a dance prepared to a number from The Greatest Showman.
It's actually the opening number to the movie, The Greatest Showman. So they're going to have their own. They will open the show for us this year. Yeah.
So there's also going to be the dance. The
Yes.
dance,
Yeah, the dance club
club
will be there as well.
at
Correct.
Fitchburg State.
Yeah.
That's going to be putting on a show. Is it just one dance, or are they going to do a couple?
just one opening
one
dance.
dance. Oh, cool.
Yeah. And that's something we've done in the past as well. So that's another collaboration that's stuck with the drag show as well.
Right. And every year we try to do something new and interesting because we've had the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence out of Boston have come.
Is that a drag group?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it is a drag group that
Sisters
comes.
of Perpetual Indulgence.
Yes, we introduced, we invited the Royal Court of Worcester several years ago. So again, we don't want the same cookie cutter show every year. So we have to think of new and interesting and different ways of doing this, whether it be the theme, whether it be the decorations that we do. The show itself has to change. So, because we don't want people to come and go, oh, that was nice. That was the same show as
we
last
saw
year.
that
No,
last
year.
we want, and again, with the girls, they do a fantastic job with coming up with new songs and new costumes and wigs and makeup and all that stuff.
Going right along with the theme.
Yes.
Maybe they'll be like tiger print.
Well,
There
we'll,
might
we'll
be.
see.
Yeah.
We'll see what's going to happen because they do know the theme. We don't usually know exactly what they're going to be doing for the songs until that night when they get the playlist to our DJ for that night.
Yeah, but you can expect lights and sound
Oh,
and
yeah.
big.
And big.
Big.
And this year we're as part of the concessions, which we'll talk about why it's a benefit. But the concessions this year we have. Cracker Jacks that we're going to be selling.
Cracker Jacks.
Cracker Jacks. We've got popcorn, cotton candy, soda water, and then what am I missing? Oh, the circus peanuts.
Oh, yes.
Circus peanuts.
The marshmallow circus peanuts. Again, everything goes right along that whole theme of the circus night. So, and that in the money that comes in from that does help and go back to the benefit part of the show, which we haven't really talked about yet,
Yeah.
but. The money that is raised that night goes to the LGBTQ student scholarship.
Student scholarship.
Correct. That GSA had founded, probably about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And the way things work at Fitchburg State through our foundation is that the scholarship has to be vested first, which means it has to have a certain amount of money before we can start handing money out. So we've been working for about 10 years now trying to build up the money that's needed. So this year...
So that it can kind of sustain itself.
Correct.
Yeah.
So like if there's, I don't know, 100 grand in there, you can pull 5 grand out every year and it'll maintain
Right.
itself.
It's basically we would give off the interest on that central pot of money so that we can help students
In perpetuity.
Yes, yes. So that's why people want to know what it's to benefit, and that's what it was. The first few years, we chose some local charities like the AIDS Project of Worcester. Our Father's House, I think, was a beneficiary one year. So we had done some local ones, but then the students were like, no, we've got some LGBTQ students who are coming to campus who are first gen, who need just that little extra, whether it be pay for books. To help pay for food.
Yeah.
Exactly.
School
Tuition,
supplies.
school supplies. So that's what the money will go to. So we're really pushing this year in order to really build up that scholarship, that endowment, so that we can make sure that hopefully next year we'll be able to start handing out scholarships to students. So every table will have, like this here's the QR code, but every table will have a QR code for a donation. So
For additional
That's
donation
awesome.
to go to
Yeah.
to benefit the the Gay Straight Alliance Scholarship
Correct.
Fund.
Correct.
It's
Yeah.
a good cause.
It is
Definitely.
because it keeps, it's a good way for our students to give back to the campus. It's a good way for us to help recruit students. It's a good way for us to maintain students. Fitchburg State is a fantastic school. I got my master's from there. You got your bachelor's.
Yep. Working on my master's
Working
right
on your
now.
master's. And I went to a private school in West Virginia. And don't get me wrong, I loved it. I really and truly loved it. I had a great time down there. I got my
Bachelor?
Bachelor's of Arts of Education. And came up here for my graduate assistantship, and like I said, fell in love with not only the city, but with the campus. And I tell these students coming in, they get such a better education at a state school than I ever dreamed of getting at a private school. These students here, especially in education, they get out in the field as soon as they hit the campus.
Yeah.
I never got out until I was basically, 14 weeks from graduation. So, and that's when I was like, oh, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I really don't want to do this.
Yeah. Definitely for me, I went to school as an education major. Got to do those pre-practicum hours. Found it wasn't for me.
Yeah. I mean, my graduation day, I told my parents, I don't want to do this. And they were like, we kind of knew.
Great.
Right. No, they were like, we knew. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, oh, you needed to find that out. You needed to come to that epiphany that this wasn't for you. So, but no, Fitchburg State is such a fantastic school. And it's,
There's a lot of opportunity available,
definitely.
certainly in
Yes.
Fitchburg.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a gem. It's a real gem here. And, that's it. It's got a lot of history.
And so other opportunity, at the drag benefit show is that the students get to participate
yes.
in the drag
sure
show
do,
as well,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
How does that work?
Yeah, so every year, the Gayest Straight Alliance does a drag show penny
race.
drive or a drag race. So
drag
we have
race.
yes. So we have students from different clubs and organizations or just other students on campus who can volunteer to put their name in. And then we leave at the info desk. We have some tables across from there. And then we leave some penny jars out for those students who want to be in the drag race. So students can go in, drop some money so that their friend potentially gets called up on stage.
So like you have jars with people's names,
Yes.
and whoever makes the most
Yeah.
money
Yep.
gets to participate.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
so it's, like you said, that's a great way to do it. It's a penny war, you know, and whoever has probably 3 or 4 jars that night, of the show, we then pull them up on stage. Myself as Dutchie, I get to go out and maybe choose a couple more unsuspecting souls, But what's fun this year is that we've decided to also do drag kings. So we have a group of 4 women who have allowed us to take their faces and stuff to help with this benefit, and then probably 3 of them will be selected to be taken backstage along with the gentlemen to get their makeup done, their hair done, their costuming, their drag names, all that kind of stuff. So, and this year we're competing for, I got
Yeah.
this huge crystal crown on my desk. So this year's drag race winner for the gentlemen.
get a trophy.
Will
Yeah.
win the crown, and then we're in the process of buying a one for the women too. So the drag king will be crowned this year too.
That was going to be one of my questions. How come drag queens are so popular, but drag kings, I don't know if I've ever seen a show with a drag king.
Well-
I mean, what's the market for drag kings?
Well, I think I'll be very honest. I'm the
Yeah,
one that's
this-
kind of fought the whole drag king thing because I think people come to our show for the queens. I mean, these are some. When they get all dressed up, you're like, wow, these are some beautiful, beautiful women.
Women are the peacocks
Uh-huh.
of, the humans.
But we also have we've been asked, by GSA, and again, this is how culture is changing. This is how the atmosphere of the campus is changing. I'm like, sure.
Diversity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's time. So
definitely.
we've got. I was speaking to one of the young ladies today. She is so ecstatic that we asked her to do this, and she's like, "Okay, what do I need to do? And how do I need to do my hair?" And I'm like, "You don't need to do anything. You
Yeah.
just need to show up. That's all you got to do." But she's like, "Yeah, but I need to have a suit." And I'm like, "No. I said the performers will take care of all that for you."
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Right down, like I said, right down to the drag name. So. Yeah, it'll be fun this year. It'll be fun because, like I said, we've never done any kind of drag king anything. So,
Along those lines, right? It's the Gay Straight Alliance drag show, to be a drag queen, you don't have to be gay,
No.
correct.
Not
right?
at all.
You can be. There's a diverse amount of sexualities that you can be.
Yeah, I have never asked, so I don't want to assume that all of
Yeah.
our performers are gay. I do know that we do have a couple of performers that are transgender, and they still perform as drag queens. So it's just like I said, I think everybody comes for the performance.
Yes,
for
sure.
the big hair,
Yeah.
the big makeup.
The big jokes.
the big jewelry, the big everything,
Yeah.
and like you just said, the jokes and the songs and the parodies and making people a little squirmish in their seats. Oh goodness, is she going to sit in my chair? Is she going to break my chair? What's going to happen?
That was always
So-
my biggest fear with Misery.
She's gonna break your chair.
As much as I love the tradition, I don't want it to happen to me.
Right. Yeah. So, but yeah.
So women can be drag queens too.
Yes. Like I said, we have a couple that are transgendered that are drag queens. That's where they make their money. That's where and they're known for that. They're known for traveling the country, and that's the thing with our performers here too. I was just telling you tonight on the ride over, they need transportation from the airport the night before, and there's 7 of them coming.
7. Oh, there's 7
So
flying
they're
in for
literally
this.
traveling in. Raquel is her home base now is in Dallas, Texas.
Wow, that's pretty far.
So they
That's
come-
commitment.
And she is one of our only ones that has been with us the entire time. And she has always said that she will do everything in her power to be a part of our show.
That's so special.
It is,
Yeah.
because she feels that that's where she got her start was with us here at Fitchburg State. I mean, I look back on some
We're a
of the
great
photos.
incubator
Yes.
for greatness.
Yes, and I look back at some
Definitely.
of her photos and I'm like, oh, you've come such a long way, hon.
Yeah.
Oh, such a long way.
You mean the makeup and the
makeup,
outfit?
the costumes, the mannerisms, the lip syncing, everything. She has really come a long way.
Yeah, because when the show first started, it was pre, gay marriage being passed by the state of Massachusetts,
No, I didn't even realize that.
right? Because that only happened, 16 years ago?
2004?
16, 17 years ago? Yeah.
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 And so, and really, even that year it passed, like the vote was close. It was like 52%, something
Right.
like that.
And then we had the recalls,
Yeah.
to
There was kind of outrage, and and now you fast forward to today, and it is so much more welcoming. Now it's like oh yeah, everybody's gay. It's cool. Like we're not unhappy. Like there's drag shows. Like you won't hear. You very rarely see that kind of discrimination that you did 16 years ago. When this show first started.
Well, and then I like to tell the story that to how far we've come, just even on our campus, is that when I was first hired to do orientation and to do the events and stuff, as part of our diversity training for orientation, I would get up on stage and talk about how my coming out story and telling them how I was gay and stuff, and I would get standing ovations for like the first 3 years, and then the 4th year, well, not so much, and then the 5th year they were like, yeah, we knew before you hit the stage.
Okay, good for you.
Yeah, okay, and then we were like, okay, but just in that short amount of time,
Right.
I have such hope and such faith at the students coming our way that things are changing. Things are there. Everything is much more acceptable.
Yeah.
We're hearing about students who, knew that they may be transgendered, and when they're in middle school, So and that talk is continuing further and further down. I know it's a little controversial.
Controversial.
And I'm not here to put my opinions on that, but. Things have changed. It really has changed up here, and I'm glad I'm up here in Massachusetts. I'm originally from this little podunk town outside of Western New York, and where my parents have 13 acres, my sister has 31 acres, and and I go home back home, and it's not the same. It's definitely not the same as it is here.
We're very accepting. I feel in Massachusetts we're very educated.
Yes.
Generally,
Yeah, I mean Massachusetts. I mean, how many colleges and universities does this state have?
#1 most educated state.
Yes, I mean, I think there's one on every corner, just like a Dunkin' Donuts. So but no, it is. It's a great feeling to be up here, and I know the campus is very, very safe. I even think the city itself, I think, is very safe, which is a really good thing to say here too. So. So the show, like I said, when we first started, it had some rumblings like, what are you doing? Why are we doing this?
Like, whoa, this might be a little too much.
Right,
Yeah.
we had, and I love Dr. Antonucci, who was the president at that time, and he was getting some emails and some phone calls. Why are you allowing this to happen?
Wow.
And I give him a lot of credit because he's like, this is a student thing. This is what the students want, and I am not going to tell the students not to do something. So he said, go ahead with it. And like I said, now we've gone from 250 people to almost 1,000 people. So
It's kind
15 years.
Kind of become one of the main events people look forward to every year as well.
Oh, definitely.
I remember when I was an undergrad, all my friends were like, when's the drag show? And I'm like, I'll talk to Shane. I'll let you know. It's coming up.
Well, the night of the show, when we're starting to tear down and stuff, like I got people coming up to go, so when next year's show? And I'm like, can I get out of makeup, out of the heels? Can I take a nap first? Type thing. But it's one of those things that
You continuously plan it.
Yeah. And it's like I said, 15 years, and it's still a rolling.
Yeah.
Let's take a short break, And then we'll be back talking more with Shane and Tyler about the Fitchburg State University 15th Annual Benefit Drag Show.
I remember when.
Fitchburg was the smallest town in the area, but by 1835, it had grown to be the largest town. By 1840 and 50, most Fitchburg residents had become abolitionists. Another early industry in Fitchburg that still continues today is scythe making. Women used to have to spin yarn and weave cloth themselves, but now it was being made in factories, cutting down and exporting its wood to build cities up and down the East Coast, and of course, for making paper. Starting in the 1800s, the population becomes much more diverse. Fitchburg Machine Works expanded widely.
After World War II, Main Street was lively.
Welcome back to Discussing Fitchburg Now. We are talking with Shane Franzen and Tyler Scipione about the 15th Annual Benefit Drag Show, the Gayest Showman, which is happening at Fitchburg State University on Thursday, March 31st at 7 p.m. at Fitchburg State University's Rec Center. You can buy tickets now, and they're only $5 for students and $10 for the general public. All right, guys. So one thing I wanted to talk about with, you know, drag queens or performances in general, right? We talk about the big hair and the big makeup and the big personality. Is there, things that you can do as you dress up once a year as Dutchie Divine? Is there certain aspects of Dutchie's character that you can be and you can do that you can't do as Shane Franzen?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that Shane Franzen persona goes
Out
away.
the door.
It totally
Out
goes
the
out
door.
because it does. It allows you to transport yourself into this whole new character. You know, I mean, I say things on stage that I would never ever say.
Ever.
As being the associate director of student development, I think I'd have a pink slip on my desk the next day. And again, I give Fitchburg State a lot of credit for doing that. That I'm allowed to use this persona. But yeah, I mean, just like you see with our performers too, and with our queens, whatever outfit they're in, it changes their persona. It changes sometimes how they talk, how they walk. Some of the acrobatics that they do on stage. So no, it does allow you to create this whole second personality type thing. So yeah.
You can express your feminine side.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, and let me tell you, it gives a lot of high heels. It gives you. I now understand what women have to do to put themselves into high heels. I mean, I lose. When I have heels on, because you have to practice a couple weeks in advance, and you're walking around the house, and
You got to find heels that'll fit your feet.
Well, yeah, these are size 13s, women's, so those are very very hard to find. But trying to break them in so that they're a little more comfortable because you're on your feet for 3.5 hours.
Oh yeah, and you don't walk
I'm
around
not-
heels normally. You get blisters, and now you can't. Now you're
Right. And for the next day, I'm like, I can't feel any of my toes. My toes are all dead, type thing. But no, it does. Yes, you can do all kinds of stuff, all kinds of stuff. It just allows you to be this whole other person, and it's okay to be, you know.
You could be big and vivacious
That's
and
right.
funny and
That's right.
dirty.
And a little divine, maybe.
And a little divine, yes.
A little bit fancier.
Well, it's also fun too to you try to come up with the costumes, and you know, granted, I only do it once a year, so.
So do you only have one costume, or you got a
I only have one costume. I'm not revealing what it is.
Because I saw Ursula.
I don't even know.
Well,
yet.
yes, that was from the Devious Divas of Disney. That's a tongue tie.
That's a tongue twister.
Yes,
Yeah.
from that year. But this year, I've literally had the outfit for now 3 years. You know, because it's sat in the closet and
Oh, because of COVID.
because of
Yeah.
COVID.
So you had an outfit special. You haven't worn it yet.
Shane
No, I
has-
have not worn it yet.
Shane has been waiting for this for
Oh, I have
3
been.
years.
Taking up
Nobody
special
understands.
real estate.
And Raquel is the one that does my makeup. I don't do my own makeup. She's you know, she's the professional. She
that.
does. Oh yeah, she pulls me backstage and she does all my makeup for me. And
Did you get a
stuff.
wig? Did you get a big wig?
I have worn wigs before. The one year it just didn't go very well. I looked like the really upset prom queen that
Oh,
didn't
I
get the
remember that
crown.
one.
You know, that was not my favorite year. So. But the big hoop skirt that I had done a couple years ago.
Yes.
You know,
that was a
that
good
one. That one
was
was,
a
I
good
think,
one.
one of my favorites. And then Ursula was my second favorite. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
We'll get you up there. We'll get you all glitter bead. How's that?
I'm not going unless Sam comes up with me.
Can I put my hair real big?
Oh my gosh, we could have our drag king.
I could be the drag
queen
king.
here. Yes.
Let's go. I'm saying.
There we go.
I might have to wear flats.
True.
Oh, true.
True.
So what's the show for the drag kings? Are they going to be all in one part, or are they going to be interspersed with the drag queens?
Well, we.
Is that part of the student drag race?
Yes, it is.
Yes, yeah.
And what we do is we start off the show. We probably do 5 or 6 numbers, and then we'll pull the students who have made it into the final round of for the drag queens, and we'll do the same thing for our drag queens this year because the performers they're performing, but they also have to be backstage doing their hair, their makeup, their costumes, all that kind of stuff. So it takes them a little longer, and we do it back in the recreation, back in the racquetball courts that are behind the stage. And then we go back and forth, and all of a sudden Raquel will come out and go, okay, it's time. It's time to have our drag race, and that's where we will crown, our drag queen and our drag king for the show.
And does the audience vote on?
That's right.
How does that
Yeah.
work?
Yeah, so it's basically based on who gets the loudest applause. So when you get up there, if you get chosen, you gotta perform for your life, basically, like it's RuPaul's Drag Race, I guess, lip sync for your life. And then it's chosen by the audience, yeah.
Student led.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Well, we do have this year. We have our new director of Center for Diversity and Inclusiveness. He has said that he is going to assist us this year. Now,
Ooh,
whether he makes it to the stage or not will depend on how much money he gets in his jar. But he has said he's brand new to the campus this year. Wonderful, wonderful gentleman.
Who's our new Center for Diversity and Inclusion?
His name is Junior Pena. He it just started in
July. Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, talk about fresh. He's fresh to the campus.
Brand new.
Doing a fantastic job with the CDI. But he's like, I'll help you. I'll do it. And I'm like, do you know what you're getting yourself into? And he's like, no, but that's okay. So
I'm open.
right. So, but I know he has a lot of students who have already started talking to me, going, oh, I'm putting some money in this jar. So I have a feeling he's
yeah.
probably going to make it to the stage, but we'll see.
Is the Center for Diversity and Inclusion a new department of Fitchburg State University, or how long has that been there?
We've had an incarnation of it for quite a while. It's had a couple different names. It used to be called Access, which was for first-gen students who may have been lower income, may have had a disability, and it was through a grant system through Massachusetts. Well, that grant faded away. But the university was like, no, this is something that's very important to us, for our diversified students. So they switched the name to the Multicultural Student Services. And then, gosh, how long was Hank? Hank's been here 16 years. And when he first, that's our director, our dean of students. They went and changed the name to CDI, the Center for Diversity and Inclusiveness. And the Gay Straight Alliance, our Black Student Union, Latin American Student Organization, Asian Cultural Society,
World
Integrated Nations. Those are all clubs that we have on campus.
World Integrated Nations.
Yes.
And they all fall under the CDI umbrella. And Junior and Jamie Cochran are the two that run the center, and they're the ones that do all kinds of stuff for our students, in regards to helping them program, helping them publicize, coming up with new and exciting things. They're really great at just listening also, because a lot of our students need somebody just to sit and talk with, just to, this is what's going on at home, this is what's going on here and on campus, I'm not having the greatest time, with my class. So there's a lot of that advice that's given out to the students, and they hang out, and I mean, there's a TV in the lounge, and they sit there and hang out and talk and chat, and it's a great place for them to hang out. But
really
GSA
is.
also falls within that realm too.
That umbrella of diversity and inclusion.
Yes.
And one thing that I really love about this benefit event and the Gay Straight Alliance within Fitchburg State University is that you're really opening it up to everyone. And when students are opened up to all kinds of opportunities like this, they accept people more, right? If you come from a podunk town out in Western New York and you've never met a diversity of people, you might have these natural biases or these kind of innate, just homegrown biases against things or for certain things. But when you grow up in a diverse neighborhood, in a city with diverse opportunities, with all kinds of different people, with all kinds of different, I don't know, shows.
Well, different thoughts, different culture, different foods, all that kind of stuff. I mean, that does fall within the university as a whole. It doesn't mean that those students only hang out in CDI. I mean, they hang out throughout the campus because we really try to make sure that our students have that sense of belonging. They want to be a part of our campus. They want to be a part of our community. And we're the same way. We want to do as much as we can for them also. And the show to me is one of those things.
Yeah.
I know.
It's one of those community building, community connections.
Yes.
It's not just for the Gay Straight Alliance. It's not just for drag people that like drag queens. It's for everyone.
Well, right.
Definitely.
Because we have, with all the performers that we have, we put out to all of our clubs and organizations if they would like to sponsor one. To help us, because the show, it is a very expensive show. And in order to do that, so we ask for sponsorships from our clubs and organizations, and really our fraternities and sororities are the ones they're there immediately. Going, oh, we're going to take this one, we'll take this one, and we help them with the contracts and stuff. But for the most part, I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, I would say probably 75-80% of that audience is probably would consider themselves straight.
Right.
Definitely.
Because they want to see what we're doing. They want to be a part of, and I keep saying it is a culture. It's a part of our culture. And they want to see what we're doing. They want to see what's going on. And, we got to give tons of kudos to RuPaul, because I think she's the one that's brought a lot of this to the forefront.
To the mainstream.
Basically, right, to the mainstream. But we also try to tie a lot of history into it also, is that, this is Black History Month, and a lot of the drag that we know now came from those, they were called balls, and they were underground gatherings that happened in dark alleys. They happened in very dark businesses at the turn of the century, right after slavery was abolished, for transgendered Black men and women. And they would go, and that's where voguing came from. We did an event for LGBTQ
Voguing
month.
like Madonna?
Correct. That's what everyone thinks, but it truly goes back much further back in time, and there's a huge, big culture when it comes to that. So everyone thinks, this is drag, but drag goes way back in time.
Drag goes way back to what the Greeks and the Romans, you know, Shakespeare, and because
Yep.
women couldn't be on stage.
Right.
Correct.
Only men could portray women, so the
Right.
men had to dress in drag
Yes.
in order to portray women.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of want to speak to a point that you made earlier about how shows like this are really important for diversity in students. And I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, actually. The drag show at Fitchburg State was actually like the first drag show I had ever gone to.
Really?
Yeah, and I was definitely like nervous going to it. I was like, I have no clue what to expect. But I went, and it was honestly one of like the most fun things I ever did. Kind of helped me feel more comfortable with myself as well in going to that show. So thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
See how many lives are changing.
Oh, I know.
The show changes lives.
It does, because we do have a lot of students, not only our students, but students from high school that come up to us after the show going, I can't believe you do this.
Yeah.
I think this is fantastic. You know, we're working with partnership with Safe Homes and Safe Homes. I don't think it's Safe Homes Fitchburg, but Safe Homes. You know,
Worcester?
out of Worcester, they're creating a partnership with us at Fitchburg State, so that we will be doing more. GSA will be doing more with them in regards to, you know, mentorship and just, hey, want to hang out with us, want to come to our meetings. So again, it is that broadening relationship that we're trying to create with the rest of the community.
Yeah, and it's not just going to see a show. It's going to see a show and seeing all the people around you that are at the same show and having a good time and welcoming. You know, that just makes you feel comfortable.
It's a very welcoming environment at the show, for sure.
Loud.
Very loud, very loud,
and
but very
flashy, let
welcoming.
me tell you. Yeah.
Big.
We're back to big hair again. There we go.
So here's a question
Yes.
that, you know, as Dutchie Divine, you might be able to answer. So how does one get started as a drag queen, right? Say you're like, you know what, this looks like fun. I want to try this out. Where does it start? How do you get your beginning?
Well, for me, it was the students were like, well, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do this? And I'm like, all right, fine, I will do it. And that was the year that we had done Ursula. No, it's not Ursula. It's Maleficent.
Oh, Maleficent.
Wow, that was your
that we've done.
first?
That was my first one. Yes. And since then, it's like I cannot not do
You
it.
kind of
Right.
you kind of love
Kind
it.
of dug yourself a hole.
No,
with
right.
that.
I mean, because
A whole new side of you was brought out.
So I don't know how these ladies got their start. I'm not, you know, and I've never asked. But for me, it was just one of those things where the students were like, so when are you going to do this? You know, when are you going to
Did you say no for years?
I did for years.
That's not
and
me.
then,
No,
and
no,
then I'm
no.
like, okay, let's do this. Let's do this. So
Yeah.
you know, now, like I said, it's a tradition. It's one of the traditions of the show in regards to, okay, what's Dutchie gonna wear? What's she gonna do? What's she gonna say? You know, all that kind of stuff.
Do you get like a bodysuit with big boobs?
No, but you do try to suck yourself into something to kind of
Like a
flatten-
corset?
Yeah.
You need a corset?
Well, the Spanx. Spanx are your friend. I can tell you that one.
No, I tried them on once and I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this is awful.
Getting them on is one thing. Getting them off is a total other thing. But we digress, people. So, yeah.
So maybe there's like drag queen mentors. Maybe you could just,
Well-
maybe you talk to, maybe you go to a show and you're like, hey, how do I,
Right.
how do I join you? I think I'm funny. I
They are
think I've got
called-
some I think I've got some comedic talent. I'm really good at lip syncing. I don't know, what are the other?
Well, the dancing, you have to,
Can
you have to know how to
dance, yeah.
dance.
Ooh, if
you
you,
know.
and
yeah.
if you could wear heels and
Exactly.
backflip,
Also that.
then you
Exactly.
get talked about.
Roxy Brooks a few years
Where you
ago,
break-
she did a cartwheel down
In heels.
in the heels, 5-inch heels, all the way down the runway, and it just blew us right out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I want to see that.
yeah.
That's what I
I don't
want
know
to
if anybody's doing that. It won't be me. I can tell you that one. So
Maybe if you call me up on stage.
we'll see. Don't say anything that you don't want me to
Don't do that.
rewind. Okay.
So you said that something like, I don't know, 75% of the audience might identify as straight. What would you say are generally the biggest fans at the drag shows? Is there like a certain type of person? Is it female? Are there a lot of females? Are there a lot of males? Or are the gays the big happy ones? I mean, what is?
I'd say the
Would you say it's a mix?
I'd say the sororities tend to love the show extra.
The sorority,
every
the girl,
year.
the
yeah,
women.
definitely. And then definitely our gay students love it. But all my straight friends who've been always tell me like, "Wow, that was so fun," and I'm like, "Yeah, I told you." Like,
Well, a lot of my friends that reserve the tables and stuff. I mean, they come from all over the state just for the show. And
Really?
again,
All
I
over
haven't
the
asked
state?
them, but I'm assuming that they are all straight. And again, they have a blast, an absolute blast in regards to sitting there and watching what we can spin for the evening.
a lot of alumni come back for the show as well. It's a big event.
Well, when I posted this on my Facebook, my phone never stopped for about 48 hours because, well, I want a table, I wanted this, how do I get the tickets? I mean, it literally just ballooned.
Yeah, we got a lot of traction when I shared it in Discussing Fitchburg Now.
Yes.
I shared it and it was like, boom!
Yeah. Well, and like with Nuoko, I mean, they contacted me and said, can we? And I'm like, of course, that's what we should be doing. That's that partnership that we want to create, and and I'll talk with them, and I think it would be great to do some kind of other show to help promote Pride for Fitchburg Pride. So it's one of those things where you help us, but of course we're going to help you right back. So
Yeah, a collaboration at the Pride Festival that'll be happening at Fitchburg's Riverfront Park. July 17th, and the 18th is a tea dance
Oh, nice.
on the 18th.
Nice.
I'm not sure exactly what that's going to entail, but they got plans.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, if they're listening, we're hoping to have some of that information stuff at the show that we can help advertise. And like I said, Misery is the MC for the weekend, and I'm sure she'll plug anything that she can plug. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, there'll be big hair, there'll be big makeup, there'll be lots of fun.
Lots of fun.
Lots and
lots of fun. Yes.
What are a couple of the previous year's themes that were really fun and that really stick out in your memory?
So the year that I actually performed in the opening number, it was a Willy Wonka and her drag factory, I think you called it.
And her chocolate factory.
Yes, yeah. So that was a really fun theme.
Anything that has to do with queens, we have used. We've used Queen of the Nile. We've used Queens of New York.
Dungeons and Drag Queens
Dungeons and
was
Drag
another one.
Dungeons and Drag Queens.
Cookies and Queens was another one.
No, we already said that one.
Yes, the Devious Divas of Disney. I remember the very first show. The first two shows were the same thing, and we called it Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice.
Oh, one show was fire, one show was ice?
No, there was just kind of the theme. We had a lot of red on one side of the room. We had a lot of blues on the other
that's
side of the
cool.
room.
That's cool, yeah.
Again, there was one of those times where we couldn't really officially call it a drag show, so we had to come
The
up with a
cabaret
different.
show.
The cabaret.
The Fire and Ice Cabaret.
Right. So, but yeah, no, and the students are the ones that come up with the themes. They're the ones that.
The Gay Straight Alliance Club.
Yes. GSA comes up with it. They usually sometimes go out to the entire campus and do table hours and go, okay, what do you think this year's theme should be? Again, we've had this one in the box for 3 years now. So,
Couple of years, yeah.
And thanks to COVID waning down.
Yes.
Knock on the wood.
Well, we had all the we still have all the decorations. They're in storage. So
Yeah,
I mean, it
they
was a
all
little
say
easier
Drag
for
Show
us.
21 on them still. I'm like, Drag Show 22.
And so at Fitchburg State University, I know, in Fitchburg, we've dropped the municipal mask mandate. And I know for schools in the state of Massachusetts, they no longer have to wear masks as of 2/28. And Fitchburg voted for its public schools to drop that on 2/28. Is Fitchburg State University, are they requiring masks? Are they requiring vaccination status? What is the COVID protocols going to look like at the end of March for Fitchburg State University? Would you?
I wish I could say I knew, because I really don't right at the moment, because there's, of course, a lot of factors that are in play. We're about ready to have spring break here pretty soon. So the first full week of March will be our spring break. And I know the president and the COVID team and his executive cabinet are all trying to figure out what's going to do, because we're sending our students into the real world for about a week, and we don't know exactly what.
And statistically, you see COVID rates increase after vacation weeks.
We do have a very, very high vaccination rate, very high booster
Fitchburg State
boosting
University?
rate.
We
Yep,
do.
Yep, that's both faculty, staff, and students. So
I think we have some booster clinics coming up as
we have a couple
well.
booster clinics
Are they
coming.
is it required or?
Yes, it is. It was required. It is required, with the exception of medical exemption and religious exemptions. So, but stepping on in any of our buildings, we still have to wear masks. You know, that's why I was like, do I need to have mine on me tonight? You know,
FATV just dropped the mask mandate as well.
Wonderful.
Nice. So
It's happening slowly but surely.
Yes.
We're getting back to normal.
Knock on wood again.
Right. So hopefully we'll be able to have those decisions here very shortly. So.
But you can click on the QR code with your phone, and you can see the updates, and you can follow it right on the Facebook page.
Yep.
So can we put that up on the screen again so that everyone at home, just in case you missed it before, the show is the Gayest Showman. It's a circus theme, and it's the 15th annual benefit drag show for Fitchburg State University's Gay Straight Alliance. It's Thursday, March 31st at 7 p.m. at the Fitchburg State University Recreation Center right on North Street. Tickets are now on sale. If you take a picture of that QR code, then you can get a link,
Correct.
get more information. You can purchase the ticket right online, but there also will be tickets at the door probably.
Oh, yes, definitely. You can buy them online. You can buy them in person at the information desk at Hammond Hall, which is on the street level, or we will have them that night. So at the Recreation Center at the cash register. So yes.
Unless there's like huge people watch the show and they're like,
Right.
ticket
I mean, 'cause we have 1,000 tickets available. Boy, that would be great to go sold out. I would love that. Would just make my day if I could have a big sold out.
The next year you have to have the conversation of, do we need a bigger venue?
Well, or do we stretch? Because right now we only use 2/3 of the gymnasium. So do we go to the whole gymnasium? The only reason we don't do this because if you're in the very, very back of the gymnasium, you're like,
can't
okay,
really see the
what's
show.
going on? And that's a heck of a long walk for the queens to get back there and to get back. So we only use 2/3 of it, and it makes it kind of cozier anyway.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like we've gone over everything. Is there anything else that we want to bring up before we end the show? Anything we might have missed?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Again, it is a benefit. It will help support LGBTQ students coming to the campus. So if you haven't bought your tickets, please do so. And it's a night of all nights. Let me tell you, it is one that everybody talks about for months afterwards. Like I said before, they start talking the night of the show, sometimes even before the show begins. So when's next year's? I actually do have next year's already booked, so we're not gonna drop that date
We'll
yet.
ask you that, the
Next
night
year.
of the show.
Yes. So, but no, it is. It's a great thing. It's a great way to support the Gay Straight Alliance of the campus and in the community.
And how many are at a table? 8 or 10?
10.
We could still maybe buy a whole table
10.
if you contact Shane.
Yes.
All right, great. Well, thank you, Shane Franzen from
Thank you.
Student Development.
Yes.
And Tyler Scipione, also of Student Development at Fitchburg State University. Thanks for coming on and telling us about the annual benefit drag show.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for reaching out to us because this is exciting. We've been talking about it all day. What we're going to say,
Like,
what we're
we
going to
say?
do, and so
We're meeting Sam. Right.
yes,
Tyler's on TV.
Shane's on TV.
I'm on TV.
We're all
So,
on TV.
right.
And you are watching Discussing Fitchburg Now. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned a lot about Fitchburg State University's drag show and about kind of the drag culture in general. You can buy a ticket and you can be there and see it in person Thursday, March 31st. I hope to see you there. I'll be there. It'll be super fun.
Great.
All right. And we'll see you on the next Discussing Fitchburg Now. So, bye.